Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. So with Bitcoin, it's making it now fairly clear that there is most likely not going to be any extension to the fifth wave. Yeah, so that means the fourth wave probably was finished here as per the account here. Yeah, because until yesterday the idea was still there is a potential to turn around here, finish off the fourth down here, and that we just had a flat pattern for the four, and the wave 5 is still to come. Now, I'm not following this anymore, this idea. Another scenario was that the wave 5 might get an extension in the form of a 1-2 setup, and then extension, obviously with making that new low. That's not viable anymore. So it leaves us now just with a question, and therefore Bitcoin makes it quite easy. Are we going to hold the wave 2 support, critical long-term area that we've been talking about in previous videos, that we eventually expected the price to get into? So we are there, must say a little bit earlier than expected, but we are there. And Bitcoin makes it quite quick here, quite fast. And we had a lot of bearish news, which again, not necessarily surprising, as I explained in yesterday's video, that with news, you often get the most bearish news in a wave 2, and especially towards the end of a wave 2. Now, we had quite a lot of bearish news in the last few days, to be honest. So it's just an interesting observation. I wouldn't use that for trading, but it's just an interesting observation. Can give you some clues where we are. What else to mention? Well, what else is to mention? Obviously, it leaves us with the question, are we going to hold this wave 2 area? So this is sort of the bullish potential we are watching. And we are watching this very closely because this 1-2 setup is really going to be the decision maker for, are we going to head back into a bull run? Has the bull run started? As many on crypto Twitter already tweeted on the way up. Yeah, as you know, crypto Twitter is always emotional and they're always following the candles. While they were all super bullish here, they're now all very bearish. And now nobody talked about the bull market again, right? Now everybody's like, right, the rally's over, we're not going to get another rally. So it's just an interesting observation as well, that colors of candles don't really give you a clue if the overlying, if the higher level trend has shifted. That's why I constantly said to you, what we need to see eventually to confirm that we are back in a bull market, we need those 5 waves to the upside. That's the first confirmation, as per Elliott Wave, that the trend is shifting. The second confirmation is that we need to hold this wave 2. Now we are in this area. A lot of people on the way up were already panicking. They couldn't get these prices anymore. So I'm sure a lot of people are now fairly happy and relieved that we are back into this price range. Wave 2. And the third level of confirmation is that we need to break above the wave 1 high. Then you typically get these inverse head and shoulders as well. And you do that in 5 waves. Now, again, there is no need necessarily to wait for confirmation of all 3 stages to buy, okay? So that's entirely up to you, your own approach, because there are breakout traders, there are pullback traders. It just depends on what everybody's comfortable with. It depends on so many factors. So there isn't necessarily a right or wrong, but a lower risk trade, in my opinion, from a, how much you risk per trade, is typically, in my opinion, a pullback trade. So it would be waiting for the first confirmation, but that was not enough. As I said, we still have the bearish count here on the chart, A, B, C, yeah, resulting in a 5-wave move down. But probabilities are close together. So this is the real decision point. The market will make that decision. Are we going to head and turn up in a bull market or not? So we need to hold 17,567 eventually. If we drop below that level and sustain below that level, it means we are going to continue with the bear market, and I'm looking at 14, 13K, maybe even lower. That's what we then need to look at when we break below 17,567. So this is sort of Bitcoin makes it quite easy in a sense that we now only have these 2 scenarios to work with, and it's a pretty clear pivot. Yeah, it's a pretty clear decision point. In the last week or so, as you remember, we had basically 3 scenarios to work with on the lower time frame up there. Now, Bitcoin didn't like 2 of them, made it very clear that we're heading directly into this support area for the wave 2. So it's now really between bull market is starting and bear market continuing. That makes it very, very straightforward from an analytical point of view, but it's never straightforward, but it gives us a very clear point of 17,567. So we dropped from one support area yesterday directly into the next one. That's always a bit annoying because you basically have a huge support area, but now we're heading closer to the key decision point. So again, these are the 3 levels of confirmation you need. I've seen various analysts who already called for the end of the bull market, the end of the bear market, when we saw 3 waves to the upside here, which is, in my opinion, way too early, because with just 3 waves, you don't have the 5. You need the 5, and that's really only the first step. Then we need the 3 waves down, second step. That for many is enough to do a trade or to buy, okay, when you get these 2 confirmations, because then you get the best price, okay. In my opinion, the best balance of, okay, it's fairly confirmed that the trend is shifted. Obviously, nothing is certain, but fairly confirmed, and you get a decent price in the support area. So that's interesting. So bearish count again, ABC. Yeah, this could easily be an expanded flat. So I'm watching, are we going to break this support area or not? But it doesn't take much to invalidate this bearish count. I did say that before, yeah. We just need to be aware of the options and then come up with our strategies. But this is certainly still highly likely. And this scenario has never been invalidated. The trend is never broken. Therefore, this is still very much in our focus of making one more low in this bear market. Okay. Followed various Elliott Wave analysts who haven't even considered that option. I don't think you can just dismiss it. I think it is very much striking on the chart here. Corrective move up in August last year, corrective move down into November, and an impulse up. It looks very much like an ABC. Just be aware of that from a strategic point of view. I already talked about what that means for my tactics, because as I said many times, I'm very careful, or I'm very, very careful with my money management at the moment, and I leave a lot of money aside for those lower prices. That's my tactics here, instead of doing anything aggressive here, other than doing a few spot buys here and there. But what I will do, and what I am actively doing, and I don't mind if the price is dropping further should we lose the support area, doing DCA buys here. I carried out dollar cost averaging and long-term position building, core positions in this region, mainly here after the November low, and took some profits along the way, as you will remember, and some channel members, mainly on ETH though. And I said that when we get into this area, I reactivate that. I did put my first position in yesterday again, but I will buy more, which doesn't mean, I go all in. I still leave tons of, I don't want to say tons of cash, but yeah, I just want to give you the idea that in terms of what I buy and the available cash, there is still a lot of available cash there, which I will use should we go lower. And if we don't go lower, then that's fine, because if we have a confirmed uptrend, if it turns around into a confirmed uptrend from here, then I can always add that cash to trades and things like that, right? But this is now an area where, in my opinion, we have a really good long-term price again, really good long-term and medium-term price as well. And even short-term, not too bad. Just be aware that at the moment we haven't seen any bottom here. For some people it might be better to wait for a confirmed trend reversal, but everybody's different in that respect. So that should give you a very clear view of what levels now need to hold, and so on. So I wouldn't be surprised to still go lower the way this is going. We dropped out of the corrective price channel, which indicates something stronger to the downside is going on. In this whole move down, at no stage a bottom was called. So yeah, we still head down lower and haven't seen any impulsive rally. It tried it here, but failed. But it was not a rally in 5 waves. So yeah, I think where we are now is we're heading down here in what I consider an ABC structure. Well, ABC in wave 3. Yeah, so if I make that a little larger, we can now look at the subwave count. I think a lot of people are interested in that. So my best assessment of this would be, so let me see, I think I said wave E, my view was wave E ended here. Just need to look at the subwave, wave B, which is the E wave of the triangle. I did have that. So I think you could make a case and say wave B might have ended here, or so that was that long wick. A, B, yeah, it can't be there. Oh, if I say A, B, C, D, E, yeah, okay, maybe we put the B wave here, but this is really the micro, the details of micro counting. So here we need to be aware. This could be a 1-2-1-2 setup, which would set the whole thing up for quite a bit lower, actually, still in the third wave. Just thinking. So where we just leave it at 1-1-2 for now, and I will observe price action through today. But we need to be aware this could be a 1-2-1-2 setup or a leading diagonal in that C wave, right? So it might be that we get one more low in addition. But here, wave 1, wave 2, then we could say we possibly completed 3. Here we get a small 4, and we might now be in the 5th wave. The reason why I'm saying we might have completed the 4th and we might be in the 5th is because of this sort of downside, descending wedge type or triangle type overlapping price action down here. So it might have been wave 1 here as a leading diagonal, then a wave 2, then here a very long 3. Could say this was the 4 and now ending diagonal in 5. These are often like descending wedge type or overlapping price action patterns of exhaustion. I can't rule out fully that wave 4 is still ongoing. Yeah, but sort of just to give you a guide and orientation here. Obviously we dropped below 20k. So it could very well be that we're getting sort of towards the end of it. But so far, again, here no pattern of, the trend has already shifted. The trend has reversed to the upside. I'm looking at a possible larger 4th wave pullback on the weekend. Now, how I'm going to structure this entire move down here might change a little bit throughout today. I will spend a bit of time to really look at the micro count here. I thought about putting this ABC into a WXY, but it's a bit too early to do that. Either way, even in a WXY pattern, I would say that we possibly completed here a 1-2 setup, then the 3, the 4, and we might now be in the 5th wave. Certainly something to watch. It's just a question of how we do these subwave structures here. But I think we are really heading for a 4th wave on the weekend. Yeah, after the shock of the last few days, where we had a lot of bearish news, where we headed into the wave 2 support area, it's now all about a possible wave 4 sideways recovery, you could say bearish rally that might occur on the weekend. Yeah, and if I zoom in a little bit, what could be target here for that 5th wave? Can get some idea in taking the length of waves 1 through 3. Then we go to the high of the 4th, and we just look at a few options. So the first level to watch here would be 19,632. The second one would be 19,105 or 104. These are sort of targets based on Fib extensions just of that move. And in addition to that, obviously, we've got the 61.8 Fib retracement at 19,218. Okay. There's another way of measuring target. So what we could do is also just take the length of the wave 1. And we go to the high of the 4th. And then we get the 1-to-1 ratio that we've basically reached now, 19,813. So we need to be on the lookout. Maybe this is done, but it doesn't look finished, but it could be. So we've reached the 1-to-1 ratio again. So we've reached a point where the market is now deciding, okay, are we turning around or not? So far, it doesn't look like it. And if we break below 19,800, which I currently would expect because there isn't really any strong signal, then the next target will be reached, in my opinion, at 19,633. But they are not very reliable extensions. I mean, they are, but this is the lower time frame. Yeah, I would pay a lot of attention here to the fibs, especially the 61.8 fib at 19,218. And also what we can do just look here at the extensions, taking the length of the A wave, going to the high of the B. So as you can see here, the 1-to-1 ratio was already broken, but the 1.618 extension, that's quite interesting. The 1.618 extension point, which is another key target, points towards 19,600. Now, that's pretty much in line with one of those dotted lines. Yeah, so I'm actually going to add that now here as well as an additional dotted line to show we have some confluence there. They are certainly all levels to watch, okay? But seems like at the moment, as per the count, that we're still heading lower, but it's Friday, so we need to be ready for a possible fourth wave turnaround temporarily for the weekend, for Saturday, yeah? And eventually it's all about, is this support area going to hold? Now, a few people asked me for a detailed bearish count. To be honest, for me, price action to the downside still looks fairly corrective. I would have to count, I can't count this as a 1-2, okay? So I would have to start here. Would then say that we possibly had here a wave 1. So this was a 1. This here was a 2. And that we're now subdividing in a third wave. And then we could say in the third wave, see that, and that's also the problem. We only have like a 3-wave structure here, so it all looks rather corrective. Okay, it could be a leading diagonal the way down. Yeah, so we could say in a leading diagonal also here, we might have our, so 1, 2, this might be a wave 3 in ABC, yeah, where we say, okay, maybe this wave 3 might be quite a long one. Let me just think, so this could be an extended one, 3, 4, and then it might just be a case of breaking that to the downside eventually, yeah. So having a 5-wave move down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of some sorts, and then I might prepare that in a little bit more detail on the weekend. You get 5 waves down, but this could be only the wave 1 of a larger decline, and you get a wave 2, yeah, and so on. So it's a bit too early to really focus on that too much, but I think what is so important is to understand about this 17,567 level, and it's been on the radar and on the chart now for many weeks, that if this level breaks, we're continuing to head into the bear market, yeah, and that's still pretty much a very, very likely option. I've always said it's way too early to confirm the bull market, just again for clarification. So yeah, but let's see if this level is holding. I do add to my DCA portfolio in this region, because I tend to do that after these severe red days, and yeah, that's where we are, and I keep you updated. Hope you liked the update about Bitcoin. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe, and if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.